how to go large, how to take it too far. Let me show you how to show up and show out and surf the crowd. Trust me, you ain't never seen nothing like a show like this. I'ma give you something to remember forever. Yeah, and I'm so tired of them playing with me. Yeah, pushing my buttons, this ain't no game to me. Yeah, ain't got time to be explaining me. Yeah, I'ma just take over the game, baby. Yeah, let me show you how to be a star. Let me show you how to go far, far. Let me show you how to shine bright. Let me show you how to shine bright. Let me show you how to be a star. Let me show you how to go far, far. Let me show you how to shine bright. Let me show you how to shine bright.
Why would I ever have to cop a chain again when the QB chain birthed most of the chains in the game? No post office, we stamping time. Took a slice out of the big.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today it's week 4 and we've got what should be a great one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. So this game here in London, the first of 5 games in the NFL International Series for 2022. We'll see the Giants and Packers here next week. Broncos and Jags at Wembley at the end of the month. The Seahawks and the Bucs, that'll be in November in Munich, Germany. First time a game's been held there. And then we wrap up down in Mexico City, November 21st. Cardinals and Niners from Estadio Azteca. Kamara gets it again on second down. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On third down, Winston. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. The Saints at 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they got off to the good start, but then 2 straight losses since.
And now you start to wonder about what this does for a team's morale, how it affects their psyche, because, let's face it, you work all summer pointing toward that opening game, you get the win, but then you don't carry it on from there. How will they bounce back from these losses and try and get right?
So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
When you're dead last in the NFL in third down conversions, the odds are against you every time you face it. How about him picking up that one? That was big for them.
A first down throw for Winston. There's Chris Olave. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
The receiver factor at Ohio State turned out an NFL-ready deep threat this year in Olave, who New Orleans jumped up to get at number 11. The Saints learned lastly they need another defense breaker in their receiver room to allow a little bit of space to throw underneath. Sub 4.4 speed and a history of turning deep routes into touchdowns made Chris Olave their guy, and he gets them the first down.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Play action now, Winston. He's got the hook up to Landry. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Another completion right there. And again, Charles, good time in the pocket. That offensive line on this opening drive been really solid.
They've been more than solid. They've really tamped down the pass rush and kept him safe in the pocket, able to look around, find his target, and deliver. He's got to make sure he tells the offensive line in the huddle, thanks, fellas. Let's keep it going.
Back to the ground. It's Kamara. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing, Winston. And he rifles it complete, caught by Landry. And the Saints are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Off the play fake, Winston. Sliding out of the pocket. Looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Saints get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Lutz with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And a dangerous throw there. Nearly intercepted on the sideline, but it's incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They run for the first time with Ty Chandler. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 33 and a first. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get to normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
Last play went for over 30 yards. This one not quite as big, but still over 20.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Cousins now. Another one on this play for Justin Jefferson. Call it a gain of a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 2nd down, here's Nwangwu. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Here's Cousins.
A quick reaction as he catches it off the tip.
And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, sure looked pretty coming off of his hand, but sometimes you might have to take a little bit off of it. That one looked a little too hot to handle.
Yeah, but off the tip, hey, they still got the catch, right?
It's amazing, isn't it? Even when it goes wrong, it turns out right.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
On second down, Kamara. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd and 1, here's Winston. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away.
Here comes Rager.
And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Straight ahead, here's Nwangu. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you could have in that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. On play action, Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 33 yards that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. To throw, Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
A nice chunk play from the tight end position, and it illustrates the cohesiveness that he and his quarterback have. Both saw the extra defender doubling him up, and they still combined for the completion and big gain.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. And he's got some space here. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Cousins. To the right side and complete to Jefferson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Give him 2 yards. That sets him up 1st and goal.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
They'll look to run with Nwangu. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Kene Nwangu, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Joseph connects on the extra point. And the lead is now 10-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Play fake. Winston. Finding Taysom Hill complete. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Oh, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well where you can find that space between levels, and they were able to do so for good yardage.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Jameis to throw it. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. He's at the 30. 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. 3rd down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. So they get the 1-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
Joseph connects on the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Taking it about the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Winston now gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. And the Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on 3rd. Now Winston. Looking long for Thomas. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Blake Gillikin now. And this returnable for Rager. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And with only 9 seconds remaining, not much time, we'll see how they play this.
And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, as they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw.
Complete. Jefferson the target.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Now a handoff to Chandler.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, you hate that defensively. They had him pretty well corralled, but the face mask, that obviously changes things.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating because you feel like you did everything right. You had him stop, but the hand gets up just a little too high, and the natural inclination is to hold on, and that's going to get called every time.
So the penalty yards marched off on the face mask. Here's 1st and 10. Cousins to throw it. And this will complete to Will Fuller.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Play action now. Cousins. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Well, remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like...
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Justin Jefferson.
30 yards. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
Joseph connects on the extra point,
and the lead is now 24. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings booming away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. On 1st and 10, Winston.
Out route to Hill, complete.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Winston.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 10 yards, good for his Saints, 1st down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Winston. The pass caught by Olave. Down inside the 10. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. To throw is Winston. Touchdown! Michael Thomas, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Saints get a bit closer. Winston to throw for it. And he's got it for the two-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. Throwing is Cousins. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Off the play fake, Cousins. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but, Charles, they look up, and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. To throw, Winston. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings are going to take over here up near the 40.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47.
50 yards rushing for him now to this point.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd and a yard, Cousins.
And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
On first down, they'll run with Nwangu.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They'll go right back to Nwangu.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Cousins on 3rd and 2. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
Fourth down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph from Minnesota.
This to make it a 3-score game late.
Joseph's got it.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
Well, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3? I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. From the shotgun, it's Winston. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Winston on 3rd and 2. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This defense just continuing to do their thing, and now they add on to that lead with another pick 6.
And how about the way they played this entire game? Not only have they put their stamp on it, but every time they try and mount an offensive challenge, they find a way to thwart it. And multiple pick 6s, oh yeah, they'll enjoy watching this tape after the game.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Here's Winston. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
Jameis now on 1st down. Throw left side complete. That's Thomas. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Lewis Cine. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 30-yard line.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Another run now for Nwangu. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings.
Kene Nwangu, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Vikings look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Joseph connects on the extra point.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This has really just been a lopsided affair. What a performance they put on, and now they get the football back here with a big... We might be discussing dinner plans, talking about steak and sushi, whatever the case is, CD. This ball game is pretty much well in the books.
Yeah, we really could have started bringing up dinner a long time ago if we wanted to, partner. And I think a few of the guys out in the field already making plans for the evening.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Handoff here to Nwangu. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. On the give is Nwangu. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. 131 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And they take a knee.
Double tight, guys, double tight. 4 down. Check. 31's the mic. Come up the ball.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. And what is going on here? I've got third down. Screen shows third down, but they've got the punt team out there. Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Vikings, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.